Hello, and thank you for joining us with Purge of the Serpentholds. I'm Corinne, also known as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter, and I hope everyone watching has been washing their hands and maintaining social distance, if they can. Not everyone can. Also, if you have any trouble hearing me or the team, please just let me know. We do have a slightly different setup today, so it will take a little bit of tweaking with mics, or at least it could. Before we jump into any recaps, I have a few announcements to make. Firstly, I'd like to thank Ryan at Simulcray on Twitter for creating that theme that you heard during our Starting Soon screen. I'm going to post that in the chat right now. Check him out if you are looking for any music. He has a new computer and open commission slots, so hit him up with all of your music needs. No one is leaving their house, so we have lots of time. I'd also like to thank the Onyx Path for inviting us to run this show, and for the fantastic sale they are currently running on Drive-Thru RPG. For the rest of the month, all Scarred Land Sign and Trinity Continuum PDFs are 50% off. I'm going to link you to the blog that's about that. It provides links to everything. And then, let me get back to my notes. I'm also going to provide a link in chat here. If you have any free time to kill, if you're interested in playtesting new content, Scarred Land's pre-test stuff is going to be here. You can get in there and test things out, let them know your responses. It matters. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Finally, if you would like to support the show, please check out our Ko-Fi as before. Link is going to be in chat. Basically, all that goes to helping the show run. If we get anything, I will disperse it evenly amongst everyone. And you'll all get, whatever that is. Without further ado, I would like to pass the floor to my players. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little about your character, and then we can get into a summary of events. Whoever wants to go first can. Right now, I think Hiromi's the one right below me, but if you don't want to go first, Hiromi, let someone else take the floor.
I'm Hiromi. I play Zasa, the Sathi wizard, making me a lizard wizard. Based out of Seattle, who you can not exactly blame for all of the coughs that you're getting, but we got it first. We're number one in the U.S.
Number one.
All right. I'm Candy. I play Kai, the itty bitty tin can, basically a halfling paladin, who just kind of lives life, have fun, but maybe with a little bit of something going on in the background. So I have to wait to figure that out.
Very nice, very nice. Megan, I think you're next.
I think so. Hi, my name is Megan. I am playing Garavan. She is a Triton monk. She is also small but spicy. Not as small as Kai. Maybe a little spicier. I don't know. That remains to be seen. Kai is kind of a mystery. But yeah, it'll be a good time. Rune?
I feel like the level of spiciness is yet to be known. I think it's definitely up in the air there. Rune, you're up.
Hello, I'm Rune. I do many art things and many D&D street things all over the internet. I am playing Marigold, the incredibly extra bard, who is apparently the tallest person in this party. This whole party is Small Will Fight personified, except for one very tall, very pink bard, and that's me. Hello.
Marigold is just bringing the extra tall, extra pink, extra.
Read all about it, darling.
And then today we are missing Shawnee, who usually plays Shaho, our Manticore Ranger. She had, some family stuff going on, so, we will miss her, but she should be back next week. And if not, I'll track her down myself and somehow bring her here. But yeah, what did we do last time, folks? Who wants to take the floor there? Tell us what we did. Anyone. You can even say specifically what you did.
Hold on, I have notes.
We were in Trum, yes?
Yes, we were in Trum.
Oh, we lost Megan.
Oh, totally?
Oh, yep.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Well, hold on. We're going to have to fix that.
Wreak a little bit of havoc.
Yes, it is.
In the meantime, I'm going to distract everyone so that they don't notice the thing that we've been talking about has happened. So we had just finished an adventure where we had defeated at great cost to ourselves, the Blood Witch, who was trying to abscond with a number of Titan fingers. The Titan would be Mormo, who is the kind of mother of all of the Titan spawn. So that would include Zasa. But Zasa and Mormo do not have a first name close relationship, so that's okay. We went to Wayside, we went to Trum, we got distracted by a magic box because, well, Shahu is a kitty cat, and boxes are real interesting. So, you know, that's a thing.
Yeah. I think while we were in Trum, I think you did actually end up in Ethelwald?
Mhm.
Library.
Yes. So
Yes.
that is another plot point there. I'm going to be fixing all the cameras, so don't mind me. Everyone's just in the wrong spot right now. But yes, continue.
So in Trum, we got distracted by the box. We discovered that there were other adventurers running around, taking all of the horses. We went to Ethelwald because they have a gigantic library there, and we would like to know more about Murmur's Pass, which is part of the Gascar Peaks in Gelspog, the continent of Scarred Lands that we're on. And while we were doing some investigation, we each sort of found our own part of the library. Marigold was trying to find information about different bard colleges, schools, so that he could plus up the bardic knowledge and maybe get some leveled bonuses. Kervin was real interested in picture books. There were so many cool picture books. A lot of them had nice illustrations of fighting and punching and kicking people. It was manga-tastic. I don't recall what Kai got into.
Was not here.
Oh, well, that would explain why I don't remember.
Alrighty, everyone is back in their correct place. I think I just need to fix one thing here, but other than that, we're good to go. Let me just move this up. Okay, cool. Alrighty, there we go. It's fixed. I'll have to fix it later on the map screen, but at least this screen's good and we don't need to be on maps for a little while. I might just have y'all vamp later while I'm fixing that, like you were now. But yes, that is a very good explanation of what you all were doing. One big thing that you did successfully do is you were able to find basically a kind of like a doctorate student, someone who was working on their thesis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, her name was Keela. She is going to look into the spyglass for you. She doesn't know exactly what it is yet or exactly what the spell on it is. She thinks it's very interesting, but she used a similar mat to the incredible magical Tim, or Tim, the incredible magical Mike, otherwise known as Tim. But she, instead of trying to keep the item, she made some notes, had a big journal full of, information she took down, and then she gave it back to you, so that you can still use it while she's doing whatever research that she's doing to try and figure out exactly what's going on with this spyglass, because it's something that she and everyone else has found very interesting, but they don't know how to put, a finger on it without some more time to figure out. And I think, Zasa, you also found Elizabeth, who was the type of wizard you were looking for in the library. I don't remember quite what the name of that was, but you did find her as well, and you spoke to her, but I don't remember quite what about.
Yeah, it was for the astronomers partly because that's the path that Zasa's taking, and also because it's vaguely related to spyglasses, which
Yes.
is apparently what Zasa cares about right now.
Yes.
Question. Was
Yes.
it high? Were you looking for the high astrologer or high astronomer?
Oh, yes.
They're very different, and I have one written down, and I want to make sure. Are they astrologers or astronomers?
I read astronomers, but it's new content, so I don't know it. You could be right.
We're gonna put both right now, and we can figure it out later. But
Maybe it's common.
Strong astrologer.
Yeah, maybe it's common in this world that you do both.
yeah, but yeah. So you were able to find her. You were able to talk to her. She was, wise but kind of distracted. She is somebody that you can reach out to later to get contact with as well. Basically, as we have posited in this world, once you have made contact with someone, once you have their name and basically where they are, you can send letters to them. So you can reach out to her again in the future. Because she's probably going to be here in Ethelwald, and you know her name. So a bird can find her. Wherever you are, a bird can find you, is the moral of that story. But yeah, where we last left off, you were all getting lunch, probably discussing the information you had found, and probably what your plan is next. Basically, you have one last town to hit before you make it into the desert. I'm not sure if you all still want to go to that town, but discuss amongst yourselves. What are your plans?
I think I got everything that I needed at the first town. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I feel like I got some supplies. This sun hat and oh wait, I'm not using the right voice. You know what? It's fine. Got the sun hat and sunscreen out of nowhere from before, which I'm pleased with.
Yeah, that was from the first town. So
are we set on rations and everything?
We should be.
yeah.
I believe so.
Okay.
Just trying to remember exactly what we were doing because it feels like this last few hours has been a couple of weeks and my memory's just not what it should be. Well, did we want to head to that desert town before we go into the pass? Are we quite set?
Was there something there that we needed?
I feel like there was, but I can't remember it.
It's been a very busy morning. It's hard to remember things.
I think the plan might have been that you were going to maybe just get advice on traveling into the desert or see if there's any specific supplies you needed that were more desert-based. I think that was the main plan. It wasn't that you necessarily were looking for something in particular. It was more so, what you were trying to maybe just get a little bit more info.
Let's see
I'm
here.
sure we're smart enough that we can walk across sand with no problem.
Well, the pass is in fact quite dangerous, but
Were we thinking of hiring riding lizards?
Oh right, that's what we
Yes.
wanted to find.
Yes.
Was beasts of burden in the town before in the desert. Since the horses are not going to fare well. So we should stop there before we sojourn on.
Okay.
Makes
That
sense
sounds
to
great.
me. We have spoken. We must go to Desert Town.
This is the way.
This is the way. The way is Desert Town.
The way is shut. It was made by the... Wait, no.
Okay, so I think I have everybody's cameras now set up for the map screen if we need it. We don't need it just yet, but at least that.
Showrunner pain.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to get all that ready before we need it. Alrighty. So so if you are all ready to head out, I'll show you all the map real fast. It's not necessarily really you need to show stream, but you in the Roll20, you should all be in that map. Currently, right now, you are in Ethelwald, which is right here. This kind of area here. And then the last town before we hit the desert is Meliad. It is the capital of Derakeen. It is the closest to the desert. It is a very kind of multicultural city full of different kinds of people. But they would probably have the most information about traveling into the desert. You might be able to get some riding lizards there or something, because they are basically the last major town before you enter the desert that is in Derakeen. So they probably have supplies of that sort. So if you are heading to Meliad, I'd say it's probably not that far. Like other times where you've been traveling, I'd say it's about a day's walk if you're moving faster. You could probably put it at a day and a half to 2 days if you're moving more leisurely, just depending on how much you want to push it, because they're not that far apart from each other, but, you know, you don't really have horses or anything like that.
What we need is an airship.
He's very advanced.
Well, you know,
I
sometimes you just need an airship.
I think we'll need more gold for that.
Oh,
I don't even
yeah.
know if they've really made it here yet, but
Okay, let's finish lunch
Well, yeah.
and
yeah.
get moving, I think.
Ugh, it's going to be havoc on my skin. I flip out my parasol.
Your lovely frilly parasol.
It's quite lacy.
All right, so you begin your journey. You know, do you think you're going at a more leisurely pace? Do you think you're pushing it more? What's your travel speed here?
I mean,
Probably a little bit of pushing it. There's
Yeah, probably.
other people looking for this.
right, we're not gonna dawdle.
Okay, so no dawdling. So you are able to make it to Meliad in about a day. It's not, you know, it's kind of a boring trip, honestly. You've all become fairly comfortable with each other. You don't necessarily have anything new to talk about other than maybe what you learned in the library if you know, keep discussing that. But just before you hit Meliad, you do see two birds in the distance. They are, it looks like one is a raven and the other is some sort of a carrier pigeon of some sort. And they are flying towards you. Do you wait for the birds?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been told that no matter where you are, the birds can find you.
Which is a little weird. They must be magical or something, but I wouldn't know anything about that.
All
It's also-
birds are magical.
Zaza, are the denizen birds of this place, are they magic? Where I come from, they're really not. They mostly fly into windows and make a nuisance of themselves by shitting all over temples.
I think that's just a hobby for them.
Mm,
But it's not, shitting on temples is not so much a fact of life. It's more of a path they choose to follow.
right, there's always Marigold, go clean the top of the roof again because you're tall, Marigold. Ugh.
That's
Your life.
tallest.
So as you are waiting, you do see that these birds are definitely coming towards you. One, the carrier pigeon, flies towards Kai, and the other flies towards Marigold, is the raven.
Oh, God. Of course somebody sends me a raven. Couldn't be a normal bird, no.
Well, they know you're a little bit extra. Give me just a minute. I'll give you both these letters that you received. Okay, this is yours.
Might as well send me a peacock while you're at it.
That would have been amazing.
If somebody sends me a peacock, I will like Rune will die.
Just imagine a giant peacock flying through the air, clutching a little scroll.
Marigold would send peacocks if when he's rich and wealthy and famous. All of his messages will be delivered by angsty peacocks.
Steve peacocks. So they're like peacocks, but all black, or
I love it.
Black,
Goth
like
cocks?
goth cocks.
I feel like this is something different now.
You can order those on Bad Dragon. Sorry.
That you can. Okay, so you have both gotten your letters. Take the time to read them. You can share them if you wish. Otherwise, they are just yours.
They in the hey letters.
Yep, they've been messaged to you. So, Candy and
No,
Rune.
God damn it! Sorry.
So
I can't read this font.
you can change. You
Are
can
you
change the
okay
font.
there,
I
Joel?
picked a flowery one.
Yeah, I can't actually. I'll just copy it in a notepad.
So,
There we go. All right.
two of the party has received notes. We can give them a minute to read those. One is longer than the other, so it might take a little bit of time.
God. Marigold's just standing, holding this rather thick letter. Thick.
Thick with 2 C's.
Nice. And he can see his ear tips are turning progressively redder. Maybe it's the sun. You don't know.
Okay.
Kai, you got a letter. How delightful. Foot.
Kai's just like beaming while reading the letter. Hey guys, my letter is from Ash. I'm so excited. My
Oh,
first
from
letter
Ash.
by Bird.
Oh. Well, what does Ash have to say?
Oh, we're just pen pals, so just like talking about our
Aw.
hometown, and it looks like he wants to know. Oh, he's asking why I left. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Like why you left
Yes, I'll have to-
home?
Yes, why I left home. So yes, I'll have to write him back.
Like now?
Huh? Oh no, not right now.
So,
I know we're
you do notice that the birds are standing by,
oh, are they?
Oh, we need to pay them.
quite expectant.
Okay.
One's like perched. Kai, it's perched on your arm. The little carrier pigeon
Okay.
is like holding out a leg, and Marigold,
Oh.
the raven is like standing in front of you, just looking up, like pay me.
All right, come here, bird. I'm gonna pick the raven up and stick a silver in his little leg pouch and throw him back into the air. No wonder they had to send a raven. It was pigeons were too small.
Yep, yeah, you got the bigger bird because it was a hefty letter.
Don't you think the birds would prefer like bread or something instead of coins?
It's actually
Bird
quite
meant
bad
with
for them.
coins.
But bread is pretty terrible for birds.
But they probably like it better.
But with
Probably
gold, they
gold.
could buy a lot of bread.
That's
Do
true.
you see a lot of birds in general stores?
Yes.
Yes.
This is canon now, Corinne.
Yeah, the birds of Skarn definitely purchase their own treats with the money you give them. It's like that dog with a leaf, have you seen the image of the little dog that watched the students at the campus and then brought a leaf up to the cafe? It's like that, but with birds. They're intelligent, kind of, so, that's what they do now, I guess.
Okay.
It's canon.
Oh, I see there's a little pouch on the back of the bird. I'll put a little gold piece in there.
It has like a little backpack.
Yep, they have
Yes.
Oh, just around its neck.
the carrier pigeon has a little backpack. The raven has a little arm pack, like a little bag on its foot. Yeah.
That's
So-
cute as fuck.
Yeah, they each have their
Wow.
own little carrying vessels for the coins you give them. After you pay them, they fly off. You see them in the distance. They go 2 different directions after that. But yeah, so they kind of go into the distance. Now that you have your letters, you can choose to write back whenever you like. You'll just have to get a bird to send it back. And you can find birds you would know basically at an aviary or, the equivalent of a post office. They just have various birds you can rent out. And they are homing birds, all of them. They can find you.
Awesome.
So if we gave an item to a bird to be delivered to somebody that we needed to find, they would find it and deliver it, and then we could scry on the item and find the person.
In theory, yes. You could
I
certainly
mean-
try it. Unless the person is hiding themselves magically. In which
Right.
case the bird would have trouble finding him. It is just a bird. Whether it's magical or not, it would still have trouble finding the person if they were magically hiding themselves.
DM question.
Yes.
How big was the addition to the letter that was sent to me?
I would say it's about this big. It's not super huge. It's kind of
Okay.
like a portrait size,
It wasn't like a poster.
No, it's not a poster. It's
Okay.
it's more of a wallet size,
Uh,
It's a wallet size. It's not poster size, don't worry. I would also like to say from the chat, United Standard Parrot Servants. It's the USPS. Good job. Okay, so now that you have your letters, you are able to continue into Meliad. You do see it kind of, rising above the ground. It's a large city, many buildings. You see people kind of going in and out. It's much busier than any of the cities you've been to prior. You can see that there are, merchants going in and out with big covered wagons. You see that there's, individuals on horseback. There's even groups that kind of look like yourselves going in and out of the city, minding their own business. It has a very metropolitan, we're all busy doing our own thing kind of feel, but they don't seem necessarily unfriendly.
So everybody's kind of like minding their own business, doing their thing?
Yeah, they're all kind of doing their thing. They don't think it's weird that you're standing outside the city getting birds. I'm sure that's something they see every day.
Okay. Can we just walk in? There's not like a gate or anything?
There is a gate, but it is currently opening. It is currently open, allowing free passage.
Excellent. I think we should go in and try to find some lizards.
Lizards, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Alrighty, as you go through the big gate, it is a massive gate. You feel kind of dwarfed as you walk through. Like, you feel like, damn, this is a big gate. But it stays open. Nobody stops you. There's others going in alongside you. As you pass, you do see that there is a guardhouse. There is a guard on duty, but he is, like, reading the equivalent of a newspaper. He's just, like, not paying attention. There's nothing weird going on. He is just doing his everyday business. As you enter, further in, you see that there is, just by the entrance, there are a couple of trading stalls. They look like they're kind of haphazardly put up, like they may be temporary. But you also see that further in the distance, there are bigger establishments. There's, the standard type of general store. There's some, there's like a stable. There is a big building that you don't quite know what it is from far away. And then there is a big tavern. And these are all the ones that you can kind of see from where you're standing near the gate.
Question.
Yes.
What was the front page story on the Guards newspaper?
The front page story on the Guards newspaper is that there have been, you see like a big headline that says, strong winds, ? You can't really read what else it says, but you see the text really large, strong winds, and then you see, a picture of the peaks.
Oh, good.
Is that like desert area or separate?
It does look like, actually, roll me an investigation check or a perception check, either one, whichever's better for you.
You're gonna make me actually try to know something. It's not gonna go well.
Tell me
21!
this.
Hey!
Nice.
Very good. You know immediately that the mountains shown on the front page are the Gascar Peaks. This is the peaks that you're going to, and this newspaper is saying there are strong winds.
Great.
Wonderful. But at least it's not in the desert itself, so no like sandstorms or anything to worry about.
Correct. At least from what you're seeing, it is just showing the mountains. It's not really saying, it doesn't say desert winds. It just says strong winds, shows a picture of a mountain. You could borrow the paper if you wanted to learn more, but from just that headline, you really can't gather too much more information.
No, she's not that curious. Okay, so I think we need lizards and then something for windbreaks if we're going in the peaks based on my very simple, whatever it's called when you eavesdrop with your eyes.
Reading.
Yes.
It's called reading.
Spying. I have a glass for that.
All right.
I would like
Actually-
to start with lizards, unless you have something, Candy. Sorry.
Actually, if you don't mind, I think I am going to write my letter back to Ash. So I'm going to go find the USPS. I trust you guys to handle the lizards, and I give you guys like some gold or whatever, however much they cost, and I'll meet with you guys in just a little bit.
Oh, All right. Well, be safe.
Okay.
Say hi for us.
Okay.
If
All
she
right.
is letting us pick and just giving us the money, she's getting basically a giant iguana and that's it. Like an actual.
I mean, I'm little, so.
Exactly.
It's a Komodo dragon.
That's
Komodo
fair.
dragon? Those are pretty deadly.
I mean, Kai doesn't need that large of a lizard, all things considered.
Well, then she can ride it into battle. Come on, paladin.
That would actually be fun.
On a lizard, riding into battle. The songs would be extraordinary.
That does sound incredibly badass.
Mm-hmm. A brightly coloured one. Let's see if we can find one.
All right, so
All right.
Kai, you head towards the USPS. You don't
Okay.
see any signs necessarily dictating where it would be, but you do see
Okay.
that there's multiple individuals wandering around. You can probably ask someone. What
Yeah.
sort of individual are you looking for?
Just someone who just looks like nice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
on kind of like a park bench, essentially, like a little seating area that's on the side of the road. You see a young man who has glasses on, and he's just reading a book. He doesn't seem particularly engrossed in the book, as if he's not going to pay attention to you. It just seems like he's enjoying the afternoon as he sits on the bench.
Okay. Hello. Hi.
Oh, hi. Welcome. Take a seat.
Well, I just need to find a place real quick.
Oh, yes, of course. What can I help you
Can you
with?
can you tell me where your USPS is, please?
Oh, you're looking for a bird. Oh, yes, of course. You see right down the way that way, and he
Okay.
kind of points down the street. You see that there is a big cross street. You take a left at the cross, and you keep going. And as you go, you're going to see a big building with a big open roof. That's going to be the USPS.
Thank you so much. And I pull out and I pop him a little silver real quick.
Oh, no need, but thank you. I'll get a coffee later.
Yeah, go for it. All right. Then I head off where he says to go.
He wishes you good luck and then goes back to reading his little
Thank
book.
you.
Alrighty, for the rest of you, while Kai is going to the USPS, you are looking for riding lizards. Are you going to try the stable first, or do you think they're not going to have them there?
Stable seems like a logical place.
Yeah, I don't think I know anything about riding lizards. I would have no idea where to look.
Okay. So, go ahead.
No. I was going to say Marigold absolutely has no idea.
Okay, so you did see that there was a stable as you walked into town. It is a little ways past where you are now. Outside, you don't immediately see that there's any lizards, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have any lizards. You do see that there is a horse, there's a donkey, and then there's some sort of strange striped horse.
I need it.
So, those are the ones you see up front. They have different price tags on them, different things talking about them. But you do see there is a little sign that says, more within, please inquire. And you see there is a little bell that you can ding.
Is the striped horse like a zebra or like a Czwalski's horse?
Oh,
What's
what?
a zebra?
Well, the horse is black and white, and it has a mohawk, if that tells you anything.
Delightful.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we're looking for lizards, as amazing as that creature is.
Maybe it's a kind of lizard.
Sasa, does that... I defer to your expertise. Do you think that striped creature is a lizard?
No.
I am so glad you rolled for that.
Nature roll. Hold on. This has the potential to be hilarious. Oh, okay, we're good.
Okay, so you both know that this isn't a lizard. You do think it is a sort of horse, kind of, but you don't think it's generally used as a draft animal. Whoever brought it here to be sold did it just because it was pretty. and you think you could ride it, but training it would be a bit of a bitch. So, while cool and it definitely draw attention, it's probably not the best thing to get to go into the desert or to try and travel with, unless you're, trying to create some sort of sideshow.
I want it.
You can certainly inquire about it.
I might. Alright, let's go see if he's...
extra.
Oh yes, come on, giant bard on a zebra. Zebra, excuse me. I mean, come on.
Zebra.
All right, so you do see that bell that you can ding to get basically someone to come outside. It doesn't look like they stand outside all day. It's hot. They are near the desert. But there is a bell that it looks like you can ring to get service.
I think maybe before we ring the bell, we should just try to go in and have a look for ourselves.
Before we get hustled. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're going to a used carriage lot, you try to just kind of look around yourself first.
Right. No,
Before they come out.
Yes. They always want to charge you double and then talk you down to the actual price. No, I know how that goes.
All right, so
Interesting.
if you're deciding to go in, that's totally fine. The door is unlocked. You're able to just walk into the stables. It is, a stable. As you enter, you do see that there is somebody in the back mucking out a stall. But you do see that there is a wider array of animals inside of here. There are some large horses that look like war horses. There's some more like draft ponies. And you do see that there is a dog that's being very barky. Her name is Lola, and she seems to be the guard of the stable here. But you do see that there seems to be a couple of lizards in the back. It doesn't look like there's enough for the whole party, at least not here. But there are some lizards, some riding lizards, that are taking up kind of a penned-in area near the back corner.
Delightful. There we are. Let's go inquire about those. Or actually, let's just go look.
All right.
I want to go inspect the merchandise. Kick the tires.
No,
Kick their legs.
Don't kick the lizards.
Oh,
Please,
okay.
Kerrigan, don't kick the lizards.
To answer the chat, the guard dog Lola does have her own armor and a sword. It's on a sheath on her back. It looks adorable. But to
Arms
answer,
a dog.
clearly the owner of this establishment is a little bit eccentric.
Right.
So, as you get closer to the lizards, you see that they definitely look like giant lizards. There's a couple of different colored ones. There is kind of a brownish gray lizard that looks like it may be definitely more, probably something that might be found in the desert. You also see that there is a green and red one that looks kind of more like an iguana. And then you see that there are some smaller lizards as well that you couldn't see from afar. Those two were the main big ones. But there are some smaller ones that, would be kind of a Kai-sized lizard. They are, they're being, civil to each other. They're not fighting or anything like that. They're just kind of milling around their pen, doing what giant lizards do.
Wonderful. What do the smaller ones look like?
What was that?
What do the smaller ones look like?
Oh, the smaller ones. So the smaller ones, there is one that is a deep kind of dusky gray. And then there is one that has, that's mostly white, with a smattering of kind of brownish, goldish, kind of, you would say freckles, but they're not really freckles because they're on a lizard.
The white one for Kai, what do you think? Very
I
heroic.
agree. It's very stylish.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think the one matches Zasa pretty well, and then I think the more brown one goes better with me.
Absolutely.
I think you need to get that stripe guy. Does anybody who actually knows anything about zebras know if they do well in hot climates?
I mean, they're plains creatures, aren't they?
Yeah, they run around in savannas.
Yeah.
Let's
fine.
see if I know anything about zebras. Y'all are throwing me off here, zebras. Zebras.
Zebras.
Zebra.
How about a 15, DM?
with a 15, you know that out of the horses, that zebra's probably going to do better in the desert than the horses would.
Fantastic. I'm going to go say hello to it. Come on, I can charm people. I can charm a zebra. This can't go badly. I'm gonna get kicked. I know it.
Aren't zebras really mean? Don't they
Yes.
just bite and chomp?
Yes, they're incredibly bad-tempered.
That's
well,
why I
I'm
said
excited.
it wasn't going to be very, it's not a good draft animal.
Listen, the mental image of us all on lizards and then Marigold on a zebra, I want this to happen.
All right. For the lulz, I shall attempt to commune with this majestic creature.
Alrighty. So you head back out to the zebra, and you see it's kind of kicking at the dirt in its little pen. It is whinnying and kind of throwing its head back, but then it settles. It's just kind of standing there, being a horse-like animal.
Horse-like animal.
Horse adjacent.
Yeah, horse adjacent animal. I feel that's accurate. I would like you to roll an animal handling check to see how
Can I
this
use-
horse likes you.
Can I use my charisma modifier instead? Because I want to sing to it.
Okay, you're gonna try and sing to it. All right, yeah. You can do a charisma roll of some sort, whatever. I think it's probably performance then if you're singing to it.
Yes, I would like to sing to it. Music soothes the savage beast.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow it. You can sing to this zebra.
I don't
Come
know
on,
what I would
Marigold.
sing to a zebra. Shit. I don't know. It's probably something pretty, but I'll make the roll first.
Okay, make the roll. Let's see what you do.
Yo!
Oh, you do a great job. So, would you like to sing?
I don't know what to sing to it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to. So as you start to sing, as usual, your throat starts to glow. That tattoo that you have, and the zebra actually seems a little bit enchanted by it. It leans forward, kind of past the enclosure that it has, and it nuzzles your throat just a little bit, as if it understands where the sound it likes is coming from. But it doesn't, do anything mean or rude. It just kind of nuzzles you and then steps back and then does a little zebra whinny, which sound great, I hear. And it seems to like you.
Can't believe I just did that.
If you hadn't gotten a 20, but you got a 20, so.
All right. I'll pull out. I wonder if zebras like apples. Let's try this. Food, maybe?
All right, so you hand over, you kind of hold out the apple. How are you holding it?
Palm up, so it can just take it like that. I'm not gonna offer it my fingers, good lord.
Okay, so you have the palm out, the flat
Yes,
palm.
the flat palm with the apple resting on top of it, yes.
All right, the zebra reaches forward kind of carefully, grabs the apple, and then whips its head back like it's afraid you're going to take it, and then it just, chomps down, spraying apple juice.
You poor darling, nobody's spoiled you, have they?
It makes a little sad sound, like a,
No one. Not ever. If you come with me, there'll be more of those. And I'll sing to you more often. I sing all the time, it's what I do.
It stamps its foot a little bit, and then it leans forward again and starts, kind of nosing at your robes looking for more apples.
Oh, all right. I have one more. There you go.
All right, so it takes that second apple. It doesn't yank its head back this time. This time it kind of slowly takes the apple, eats it,
There you go.
and then it looks like it's pretty interested in you. You seem to have won over the zebra, strangely enough.
What?
It likes the cut of your jib. I don't know. It's India.
Extra recognizes extra, darling.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it just sees a kindred spirit, and it's like, you know what? I've been wanting out of this pen anyway. Might as well go with the giant pink elf.
Right, well, I'll be back for you, don't worry. I just need to go see how much you cost. I'm gonna mosey back in, looking very pleased with myself. Marigold's been, at the walk here since the letter, Marigold's been looking a little bit wilty, a little less brightly pink, as it were. And he sort of saunters back in his normal self and grins at the assembled group. So find lizards because I found a friend. Why do I not find friends? But really,
Do you get to just keep it now since it's in love with you?
oh, did you see that?
Yeah, we were watching for. I mean, I didn't want to get close because it looks mean.
No, he's darling. He's just lonely, you know. Nobody spoils an ill-tempered creature. But if you know the right words and the right songs, anybody can open up. Anyway, let me go pay for him. Hello.
You do see that the person in the back really hasn't been paying attention to you. They are still mucking out the stall, but as you call out, their head kind of perks up. They start looking around, and then they spot your band, and they're like, oh, yeah. One second, please. You see some like hay kind of thrown haphazardly, and then the person comes out. They're wearing just kind of some kind of dirty clothes. They've been mucking out a stall. They don't seem particularly appealing right now. And they have their hair pulled back into a braid. It's long and dark. This person actually kind of looks similar to Wendy, whom you had met in the last stable you were in.
I wonder if they're related.
And as they come out, you do see that it is a guy, but he has kind of soft features. And he comes up. He's like, so you were looking at. Do you need something? I'm sorry. I was busy mucking out the stall.
Well, we do have need of. We need to get a lizard for Shaho as well.
Oh, lizards. Yeah, we have the two big ones there, and then we have the little ones. But we do have another one out back. It was taking a bath. So it's...
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we need but all of the large ones, and then we need the smaller one, the white one with the freckles. And then I would like to inquire as to the magnificent, holy shit, what's English? Magnificent striped creature out front.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That's a new friend we have here. Okay, so... Honestly, I don't usually sell that kind of animal. Like, I don't know anything about striped mohawk horses. But someone traded it to me. They needed a normal horse. They had that horse. And I'm like, that doesn't look like any horse I've ever seen. But it's pretty. So I honestly, what do you think is fair for that thing?
Well,
Like, it's not good for riding, really.
No, that's fine. How much do normal horses cost? How much do you charge for them?
Oh, well, let's check.
And how much are your lizards while we're here?
Oh, so the lizards are a little bit more of a specialty. They're going to cost a little bit more than the horses. It's not like I'm trying to price gouge you or anything.
No. We're going to the desert, and they are unusual creatures. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I have them. That's why I get them in, My cousin Wendy, she thinks it's silly to sell lizards, but, whatever. So if you're talking about the ponies, ponies are about, 30 gold a piece. If you're talking about like a draft horse or a riding horse, you're looking at 50 for a draft, about 75 for a riding horse. And then, for the lizards, they're gonna be about, like 80 gold a piece. I mean, they're pretty pricey animals. I had to work hard for those.
Hmm.
There's unfortunately
What about the little lizards?
Chicken and rice.
Oh, the little ones. Oh yeah, the little ones they're cheaper. Because they're small. They're about the price of a pony, 30 gold.
Okay. And you said the zebra out front. You said it wasn't good for riding. Why is that?
Well, I mean, they're just not. I tried breaking it in. Like you do with a new horse. That thing bucked me like a lot, and I am good at breaking horses. Let me tell you. I mean, it's my job. I run a stable, but
Can
man.
you try singing to it?
No? Should I have? Is that like a striped horse mohawk thing?
It seems to like me.
So it... Oh, I
It
mean,
likes music.
I haven't tried being pink and singing music.
I mean, not many people can do that. It's not your fault.
Well, yeah, I mean, they always get on me about getting those weird animals, but I kind of like them, but this one does not like me. For the weird striped horse thing, I mean, it's smaller than a riding horse, a draft horse, but, I guess it likes you, so I'd say, like, 50 gold for it, maybe less, like, 40. I don't know. I honestly don't know the price of this thing. I traded it for a draft horse, so.
Well, here's the thing. We are going to need quite a few beasts of burden. We are going to the desert, and we need them to be fairly reliable. Now, I do have certain quirks about my person that make me extra charming, and maybe it just likes me because of them. However, you want 80 gold apiece for the riding lizards, large ones.
Yeah, I mean, they are they're a commodity.
Are specialty, yes. And let's see here. Well, is there some way we could work out some sort of bulk pricing?
I mean, if you're looking to get, 3 of the large lizards, 1 of the small lizards, and the weird striped mohawk horse thing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we can work out some sort of deal. I'm open to trading too. It's a big city. I can always trade again.
That's true.
I mean, I can't give it away for free. I am also open to, a payment plan, as long as you're, you promise to pay it back. I mean, I would need a contract, probably signed in blood, but that's just the way contracts work, so, I'm sure you understand.
So I just watched the body language of the whole party go, yeah, what?
I know Wendy doesn't like doing it. She always wants the payment up front, but I'm a flexible guy. They always call me, Willie the Weird, but, I'm fine with the contracts.
They call you Weird Willie?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of an unfortunate name.
Oh, that's a very good point, Kai. What were you saying about rental? I didn't quite hear you.
So I think at this point, Kai can show back up, because I'm sure she's probably sent her letter.
Well, actually, I've come back and I have like the bird like on my arm, and I'm like talking to it.
That's holy shit! Holy crap! You're more of a bard than I am. Damn,
That was good.
that was amazing.
How are your zebra noises? Can you talk to the zebra?
What's a zebra?
That magnificent creature standing right there.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't think I can speak zebra though.
No, that's all right.
I've never seen that before.
Oh, I wonder if you speak Sylvan. Actually, that's a thought.
Not that I know of. I'm just I'm for some reason able to speak with some birds here and there, so I was able to speak with this one.
That's
So
delightful.
we're just talking before he goes off to send my letter.
What?
Ernie.
The bird that you picked at the USPS, what does it look like? What kind of bird did you get?
It's actually a cardinal.
Well,
So it's
that's
a
so
little
cute.
smaller. I have a small note. I'm not sending out like a big, like a big thing. Just a really small note.
Okay, so you have this small bright red bird on your arm. You're like conversing with it. The bird's into it. It's happy to be by your side. It is very happy to be here. So yeah, this bird will stay as long as you want it to right now, up until it has to send the letter. Eventually, it has to go. But it's happy to stay by your side. It's digging those bird sounds, whatever you're saying to it. Willie the Weird, he does, he's like, oh, rental, yeah, I mean, I can't rent out the weird Mohawk horse, like,
No,
I just-
I'll buy that. Don't worry. But
Okay.
the lizards, could we rent them for I don't know what, darlings, a couple of weeks?
I mean, as long as you plan to bring him back, I mean, I'm happy to rent him. We can work out like a weekly fee or something. Because I mean, they're hard for me to get. If it dies, if you don't bring it back, hey, I'm gonna be miffed. I'm gonna write a bad review for you. But
No, we'd bring them back.
but
Uh-huh.
as long as you bring him back, yeah, you can rent him. I'd say, I'd probably be looking at about if you're just getting one, I'd say 20 gold a week. But since you're getting the 3 plus the little one, I'd say about, 15 gold a week. So it'd be about 30 gold, for each one. But, you are taking the weird mohawk horse off my hands.
I am.
So, I'd say, I don't know. I'll give you a deal here. 15 gold per animal for the 2 weeks.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
And I will give you 45 for the strange striped horse. For your kindness.
Are you saying 15 for like the little lizard too?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of doing bulk, but yeah, the little lizard we'll say 7. 7.
Because it's only 30 gold to begin with. So
Yeah, that
for 2
one's
weeks.
not that much. You're right. Yeah. So for the little lizard, since it is small, we can go with a 7 gold for the 2 weeks.
Right, and how much would you require for feed for them? What do they eat?
So, the lizards, they like eating, various small mammals, rabbits, birds, that sort of thing. Keep that cardinal away from the lizards,
Can they
otherwise.
hunt for themselves?
Yeah, they can hunt for themselves, but you do have to be careful. They might not come back if they get real distracted, so it's kind of more of a accompanied hunt, if you get what I mean.
Right, yes.
If you're taking them to the desert, they know how to find food. You just need to not lose them. But if you lose them, of course, the full fee is required. Plus, a little bit extra because I have to then go find new ones.
Right, yes, finder's fee and all that.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, no, they can generally find their own food. With the weird mohawk horse thing, I honestly don't know. It likes apples. I've been
it does.
feeding it hay. I don't know if that's what's best for it. I don't know what that thing is.
Well, I've heard tale of interesting creatures out beyond the plains, but no, 45 for the mohawk horse, and your price agreed on for the next 2 weeks, for the lizards. And I think I'll purchase some feed of some kind from you as well, alongside I think I'm going to call it a zebra, it just seems to fit.
I mean, as good a name as I have, I've just been calling it striped mohawk horse. It doesn't seem to
Zebra.
like that.
No, it has a proper name, I just need to figure out what it is.
But yeah, no, I mean, I have some feed, you can take that for, if you're taking it for about 2 weeks, I'd say about, 3 gold, for the
That's
2 weeks supply.
perfectly fine. I will do that as well, so puts me down to 23 gold, now I have a weird horse.
So just to make sure I understand, if I wanted to walk out of here with that lizard right now and bring it back in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
it would be 30 gold pieces?
No, actually, we did make a deal because you're taking so many. It's 15 gold for the 2 weeks. Special deal.
For the 2 weeks.
Yes,
Yep.
quite generous.
Very generous.
Right.
And
But
affordable.
yes, for the little lizard, it's the 7 for the 2 weeks. But if you don't bring them back,
You
the
have to pay the
full
full price.
fee plus
Exactly.
a finder's fee. So I need my lizards back.
Right.
Wendy always says I'm too nice, but Wendy, she's a blabbermouth. Can't shut her mouth for anything.
You're
She was-
assuming we know Wendy.
She was
I
actually
mean,
quite kind, I think.
everyone knows Wendy.
Everyone knows Wendy.
I was
Okay.
thinking too.
We've all heard of Wendy.
She's
We
a
all have a
pretty
Wendy in our lives, I
side
think.
of everybody.
Right. I will pay Weird Willie
Weird
15
Willie.
gold.
Okay.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
What's
me-
the third big lizard look like?
Yeah, so the third big lizard, the one that's in the back, you haven't actually seen yet. You have to go get it from the back.
We go back.
So as you go out there, you find the last weird lizard. Give me one
Weird
second.
lizard?
Big lizard.
Please tell me it's like a dragon. It's just a straight
No, I
up
want to see one of the
dragon.
frilled lizards.
Yes!
Runs like
two
like
legs.
screaming the whole time.
You know what? Yeah.
All right.
This is Weird Willie's prize lizard, the frilled neck lizard. So the lizard that you see is kind of the same kind of brownish greenish color that you saw of the other large lizards, but it does have some excess skin, it seems, around its neck on the top of its head. You see it kind of shake, and as it shakes, you see like this weird kind of mane of skin and scales around its head. It is a gigantic frilled neck lizard.
Delightful.
It has been taken a bath. It is now nice and clean, and it doesn't really greet you. It's a giant lizard. But Weird Willie walks up, gives it a pat on the head, and affixes like a little collar to its neck. It doesn't seem to have a problem with that, and he attaches a little lead and brings it over and just holds out the leash.
So they sort of drive themselves, do they?
Yeah, they're kind of independent. They know where they're going. You can guide them, but they're going to take their own route. They're not quite as predictable as a horse. If they see, something they think they can climb up, they're going to try and climb up it, is all I'm saying.
Oh, good.
So be wary of that. They're great for the desert, though. Trying to get up those dunes, get a lizard. Trying to get up, some weird rocky outcropping, get a lizard. Horse can't do that for you.
Well, he might be able to. I look over at the zebra because they can't climb. Have you ever seen the pictures of zebras and trees? It's fucking weird.
Let me look it up right now.
So who?
Oh, damn. Anyway, continue.
Should I take the frilled lizard?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems sort of your speed.
I've got little neck frills too. I'm into this. I'm feeling it.
All right, so he hands over the lead for the frilled neck lizard to you. It's a lizard. It follows where its lead's taken. It doesn't seem to show much interest in you yet. Maybe later it'll like you a lot. Who knows? It's a lizard. And then, assuming payment is rendered, he then hands over the lead for the kind of brown colored one, and then there is the lead for the green and red one. Who takes which one?
Salsa, which one do you want?
Who's a good lizard? Is it you? Is it you? Are you a good lizard?
Oh my god.
18 investigation.
You find that the green and red iguana is a good lizard. It like puts out like one iguana hand and like shakes your hand. Like it does a shake for you. So he then hands over the lead for the green and red iguana to you. And then the brown, kind of deserty looking one is handed over to Shaho, who is here but silent in the background. And then the white one with the little like golden brown speckles is handed over to Kai.
We thought that
Oh
one
my
suited
God,
you.
You're so cute. I think
All
I'm
right,
gonna call you
so-
Opal.
Aww.
Aww.
That's
I'm
cute.
naming mine Fancy.
I love it.
I go, okay, does the zebra come with like saddle reins arrangement?
It has a saddle. It doesn't look like it's particularly comfortable for the zebra.
Something else, maybe a blanket perhaps with some padding.
Oh, you want a blanket? Yeah, hold on. He goes in the back. He has like a big closet, and he starts shuffling through some stuff, and he pulls out a blanket and knocks some dust out, and he's like, "Hey, I got this one. It's
That'll work. Padding just between me and the spine.
yeah. The last person who's trying to ride it didn't even think of it, but that'd probably help a lot.
Well, yeah, no. Look at the curve of its back. It's completely wrong for the saddle you've got on it. Even I can see that would be uncomfortable. It's like a corset that doesn't fit properly.
I've never worn a corset, but I assume that'd be
I
uncomfortable.
don't recommend it. They're really hard on the lungs.
Yeah, I guess it'd be good for posture, though. If we're
Oh,
talking
absolutely.
about corsets.
I wore one for about 10 years when I was younger to train my posture.
Yeah. That makes sense. I've never tried it, but, they don't call me Weird Willie for nothing. I'll try just about anything.
Would you like one?
You have a corset?
I have a few.
I'm not going to turn it down. Like I said, Weird Willie tries anything.
You know what? Let's try you with, Marigold will actually rummage in his bags, and he has an assortment of clothing. It's like the man walks around with an assortment of clothing. rummages a little bit, pulls out a like a training corset, not one that's got full whalebone in it, but like one that's just laced, and it's got like it's not like expensive, but it looks expensive. So it's got like, you know, fake gold trim and brocade, and it's very clearly like middle ground.
Yeah.
Try this one on. I think it goes with your eyes. I hand the pile over. Now you want to make sure you have a friend when you do this, because if you get stuck in one of these, you can actually suffocate. So.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, you know, I think this is gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Oh, no
You know, the blanket's free on me, and you can take the saddlebags over there. You know, I was gonna trade them, but you know, I mean, one of you can use them, so I figure it's a fair trade for something this pretty. I mean, damn, it's nice.
Yeah, it's like kind of gold brocade, but he very carefully takes the blanket, the saddlebags, and wanders back out towards the zebra, because what am I doing with my life? What is this character?
Did you just hand out some fancy underwear to Weird Willie?
I absolutely did, and I got something out of the bargain. Is that a problem? Marigold's like actually trying not to laugh. He looks desperately amused.
Weird Willie tries anything is all I'm gonna say. Tries anything once.
Well, I mean, that's a very good, you know, protocol to have on life. Try something once. If you hate it, try it again. And if you really hate it at that point, then you know you do. It's sort of like asparagus. So the first time I had it, I thought it was absolutely disgusting. But then I had it really nicely, like, charred on a grill with a little bit of garlic and lemon and some rosemary. And it was actually quite delightful.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It does, yeah.
Man.
I'm going to go talk to my magnificent extra creature here. Excuse me. I wander out.
Hold on. I have to make some notes for myself here.
Because I will inject corsets into your world. Sure.
The party must return their animals to him, except for the zebra. Oh, and you know, once you get back, if you want to keep the lizard, you know, let me know. We can work out a deal.
Could
But
this
yeah,
basically be like a layaway situation?
I mean, yeah, kinda. The
Rent
gold
to
you
own.
pay now, you know, if you decide to keep it, I can consider that part of the payment for the whole animal.
We'll see how Fancy and I get along.
I need a name for you, darling. You are just absolutely divine. I'm like putting the tack on carefully and like moving around.
The zebra is, you know, letting you do so. It still knows. He still knows that you're the one who, you know, sang to him, gave him apples. He's pretty into it. But roll a handle animal check for me. Just see how well you know how to put this.
Yo! I have a psychic communication link with this animal.
You know how to put this on.
I will actually
Meant to
speak to him in
be.
Sylvan,
Meant to
which
be.
living creatures, I guess, assume speak. So I'm going to switch to Sylvan. Right. Okay. So this goes here, and let's see here. Is that good? Is that all right? Is that too heavy?
He does like a little whinny. It's not like a sad whinny. It's kind of like a yeah, okay, not bad.
Nose pat. Right,
Yeah.
we need to get you some apples before we leave. He's just Marigold. Oddly, is like charmed by this creature himself, and he's walking around talking to it in this beautiful like song like birdish language, and completely oblivious to his surroundings, which is a little unusual for him. He's just delighted. Like, yes, this is my friend now.
You got yourself a zebra. You know,
Of course I did. What?
I have to say, all of you, I never intended for there to be a zebra here. That just happened.
There is
What
now.
you've done.
So, you know, there's a zebra here now, and now it's yours. This is what happens. All right, so as you finish up your dealings with Weird Willie, you know, you all get your animals, you get your kind of the feed that you need that he's going to give you that you've paid for in the case of Marigold and the zebra. And then, you know, on each of the lizards, they already have a harness, a saddle. They're already basically ready to go. Since you're renting them out, he's provided all the gear for you. You don't need to do extra. But if any of the gear comes back damaged, he does advise you that replacements would be needed, repairs would be needed, there would be extra fees. But, you know, he seems to like you. Marigold gave him a corset and took the weird mohawk horse off his hands, so he's
What a
pleased.
buzzful.
And just like Wendy, he's just kind of nice. Wendy's a blabbermouth, but she's nice. And Willie's a weirdo, but he's nice. They're just a nice family that have stables. Yeah, you know, I mean, everyone's got
Weird
their
but
thing.
nice.
Yeah, weird but nice. So you are basically kitted out for the desert now. You already got most of your supplies. You could probably find places to refill your water skins. Is there anything else that you want to do before you enter the desert?
No, I think we're good, other than making sure we have enough water. Everybody ready to go get really sunburned?
I'd
I
like
don't
to
think my
avoid.
skin will burn.
Are you more of a basker?
Me?
I'm going to
No,
enjoy the sun.
Rosie.
Zasa.
Oh, Zossa. I'm delighted for you, but I'm going to get freckles.
Freckles are
You-
cute.
It's bad for my image, darling. And then I have to have my portraits redone.
Just go put some dots on them. I can do it for you.
Well, We'll see what
He's quite
happens.
dexterous.
There you are. I bet you're wonderful with a paintbrush. Let's get out of this town. It is quite rather crowded. Desert time!
And you do find as you're trying to leave, now that you are, you know, kind of with a horde of animals, it is a lot harder to get through the streets. I'd like you all to roll animal handling for me
Oh,
to
no.
see how well you keep control of these animals in the streets as you try
My
and
luck
leave.
is going. Zasa! Oh, Garrett!
Okay. 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 So basically, everyone except for Caravan seems to be doing okay.
Oh,
For Zasa, the iguana is like taking to Zasa like a fish to water. Like they are pleased to be with her. With the other two, they're just pretty okay. They're a little bit stressed out with the crowd, but they're fine. They're handling it. For Caravan, her and Fancy. Fancy is stressed to hell right now and has the neck flaps flaring. They are like out
Oh.
and they are like hissing at everybody. I'd like you to roll a second animal handling check for me.
Great, I'm about to lose this lizard. It's an improvement.
It's an improvement.
Oh, no!
What are you going to try and do to calm down your lizard? What a statement.
Try singing to it!
No, nobody wants that. She's just gonna be like, she sees that it's stressed and therefore its frills are out. So maybe if you put the frills down, it'll be less stress.
Oh, no.
So she's just like in front of it, petting it like this, like, there, Fancy, it's okay. Fancy, it's all right, it's fine, and just like being really obnoxious, probably
But he's gonna get bit.
agitating the lizard.
Is anyone going to try and help her?
Me. I would like to try to help.
Okay. Roll. How are you trying to help first? How are you trying to help?
I'll sing to it in Sylvan.
Okay, so roll a performance for me.
Lizard, would you please stop? You're gonna bite us. Oh God, oh God. He said performance.
Yeah, performance, please.
22. Despite
Okay.
my terrible singing, right? And my throat's killing me today, so I'm like,
Okay. So, you see that the pressing down of the frills really isn't helping. He's kind of Fancy is just still like hissing and kind of spitting, kind of drooling a little bit. It's a little bit gross. But as the Sylvan, flows through his ears, if lizards have ears, I think they do. He kind of calms down a little bit. He sways and the frills slowly lower. And then he just kind of rests his head on Caravan's shoulder, like, oh, that's nice.
hello, lizard. What's it like in Meliad City?
Oh, a million miles away, but, oh, tonight you look so frilly.
pretty.
Yes, you do.
Ooh.
Meliad can't shine as bright as you. You know it's true.
What am I here for?
Oh,
Give the DM inspiration? Can we collectively give the DM inspiration, please? That would be great.
Let's do it.
I party vote. DM gets inspiration on the roll.
I don't want to give her inspiration. That's gonna go against us.
I
don't
know, but it
know.
could be more interesting.
It's a
I'll give you a
danger.
I'll give you a hearty pat on the back. That's what you get from me.
Can I give you one of my bardic inspirations?
You can, but you don't get to choose when I use it.
That's fine. And you may use it against me if it makes you guys feel better.
Okay, well, chat supports it, so it's happening. Let me make a note of this, that I now have bardic inspiration.
1d4, you're welcome.
I now have bardic inspiration.
Oh my god. Okay.
1d4
Reaching through the game meta.
to any roll.
To use against Marigold.
Well,
Please don't
in
take this out of the
parentheses,
party.
Against Marigold.
That was my fault. But I'm probably gonna die too.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway.
So you are able to calm down Fancy, and Fancy doesn't know quite where the sound came from, and seems to attribute it to you, Caravan, because you were the one petting his face. And he's like, I guess this is where this sound comes from. So Fancy, likes you a little bit more.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll accept this. I'm fine with this.
You are able to keep traveling through the city. As you leave, the guard briefly lowers his what's the word I'm looking for? Newspaper. And he's like, no, you got the weird Mohawk horse.
Yes, I did. Still trying to come up with a name for him, but him? Is it a him?
Yes, it is a
a boy.
him.
Okay.
Yes, that one. Basically, what we have is Fancy's a boy. Weird Mohawk horse is a boy. The small white lizard is a girl. And the iguana, you're actually not sure. Basically, the Weird Willie, he didn't know and he hadn't checked because the iguana didn't let him. So he doesn't know. That's a mystery you can discover. But that's what Weird Willie knew. And then the brown one is also a girl. So, after that, the guard doesn't really, he lets you through, doesn't stop you. He like waves goodbye to the Mohawk horse, as if he's gonna miss it.
No.
Maybe the guard visited the zebra, at the stable, who knows. But yeah, as you leave town, you are basically on track to just head, straight for the desert, unless you have anywhere else when you want to stop. But in general, it's a pretty straight shot. You can just kind of start walking kind of southeast, and that's going to bring you to the Gasgar Peaks. Since it did take you about a day to get here, as you are leaving the city, it's about, I'd say it's kind of dusk, but that's the better time to be traveling in the desert anyway. Do you pause before you really start your travel, or do you decide to travel through the night in this case?
I think that would be wise if we want to avoid most of the heat.
Yeah.
Because
okay, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Most
Like,
of us aren't.
Are you
used
wanting to press on through the whole night?
Well, not through the whole night, but how long have we been awake? I'm used to playing
A full
very
day,
late nights
yeah.
in venues and whatnot, so it doesn't really bother me. But
I think you all would have, since it took you about a day to get here, you probably would have stopped on the way and rested, and then probably made it into town in the morning. So you did rest this morning. It is now evening, or at least getting close to evening. The sun is starting to set. So it's been, like, you're probably getting tired, but you haven't necessarily been doing a lot of strenuous activity either. You've been buying animals and talking to guards, and, you did some walking this morning, but it hasn't been a whole lot of activity.
well, it's up to you lot. So
I'm good to go for a little bit at least. Maybe like, half the night.
Meneluan, I think, is what I'll call him.
seems reasonable.
It's alumni for a certain kind of flower where I'm from.
Is it a black and white flower?
No, it's a rather startling shade of blue, actually, but it seemed like it was magnificent enough for him.
You really like this horse.
I think he likes me as well. It's not often animals like me.
It's
He
because
gives-
you're loud.
He gives a little whinny and kind of like nudges the back of your hair.
It's true.
Okay, so if you do decide to travel through part of the night, I'd say if you're looking at the map right here, this is just basically for the party. It doesn't necessarily matter for stream. I'd say that if you're traveling through part of the night, you'd probably be able to get to like about here, near the edge of the fouled forest. You'd probably be, by the time you were resting, it'd probably be, you'd be outside the fouled forest. Do you set a watch? Do you all sleep at the same time? What do you do?
No, watch seems to be
Yeah, definitely.
prudent.
Always a watch.
Yeah.
Never not a watch.
Okay. So who would be first on the watch?
I'll take it. It was my suggestion that we travel through the night. I'll stay up. The rest of you get some rest.
I'll do second.
Okay. Are you going to rise with the sun, or are you going to choose to rise at a different time?
Say later.
Later, I'm gonna try and sleep through the hottest part of the day. So
Okay.
if I can, so set up tents and that sort of thing. Sorry, just totally flung my water skin across the.
All right. So you would probably need basically everyone to take a round of the watching then. But
I'll take the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so it's me, Kevin, and then Zasa,
And
Okay.
then I'll do the lot.
and then Kai. And
Okay.
Shaho can sleep. Just let Shaho sleep. It's fine.
Shaho's real tired. She's
She
been
seems very. She's been real quiet lately. She needs some rest.
Oh my God! Look! Come here! Look! Be very, very quiet. But look in the box. She's doing that thing that cats do when they put the paws over the noses. It's really
she's like this, paws over the nose, curled up in the box. She is happy as a cat in a box. But yes, she is pleased. Yeah. So Marigold, you were taking
Yep.
first watch, correct?
I am. Yeah.
All right. Roll me a perception check, please.
Sure, that won't go badly. What is with my rolls tonight? 20.
All right.
Damn, you are rolling so good tonight. Yeah. So it's a little bit eerie. But here, let me actually move you all to the map so you can hear my map sounds.
So it's me, and then Kevin, and then Zasa, and then Kai. And we let sleeping cats lie.
Alrighty, let me see. Is sound playing for anybody?
No, but I have it muted, so don't worry about it.
Okay. I think I'm hearing it. Hold on. Yes, it's soft. Okay, I did want it soft, so let me turn it up. Or no, I think it's good. It's kind of eerie being in the desert at night. There isn't anything, particularly wrong that you sense, but you do kind of feel like there are, like, animals and beings moving outside of your range of vision. You're not the only one in the desert right now or even near you, but no one is approaching you. It's more of just there's something out there. Maybe not even necessarily something malevolent. Just, you're not alone. You are able to see, the moon above you, and it casts kind of a pale light on the desert itself, kind of making the sand sparkle a little bit. And at some point you see a bird of some sort or some sort of nocturnal animal fly over the moon, but it just keeps going. It's doing its own thing. Basically, the wildlife is doing its business while you stay awake.
Scary. Marigold will flip out his ukulele and work on composing something very, very quietly.
As you do that, your new steed whinnies a little in his sleep, seemingly, liking the sound of the music even as he rests. All right, that, you are able to go to sleep once your watch is done. Nothing in particular has happened of note. Next watch, who is that?
Kevin.
That is I.
Alrighty, roll your perception for me.
So great. 21, hey!
Hey, you're all rolling so well tonight. Too bad we're not fighting anything right now.
How quickly you forgot my lizard rolls earlier.
I mean, I guess that's true. Your lizard rolls were very bad. So, Karen, as you wake up, kind of stumble out of your sleeping roll and out of your tent, the night's kind of chilly. But, given you are a being who's from the water, it's not too cold for you. You also kind of get the sense that there's a lot going on in the desert outside of you. But nothing has approached your camp. Nothing has approached the little campfire that you have. As the night kind of begins to wane, you see the edges of the sun on the horizon. And the sun does start to peak. In the distance, because of that very good roll, you do see that there is a band of individuals. They're too far away for you to see, but there is a group who seems to be coming towards where you are, but they don't look like they're going to be there anytime soon. You're only able to see them because the desert is so flat ahead of you. It's like they are being silhouetted by the rising sun.
Okay, yeah. I'll keep an eye on them, and then I will go wake up Sasa. And as I do so, I will point out this... Yeah, exactly. I will point them out in the distance. I think they saw our, campfire smoke. They're coming towards us. Should we be worried? Strangers are scary.
All right, so...
I can't figure out the focus knob.
So, Sasa, as you are trying to use the spyglass to see them, you are struggling a little bit. You can't seem to focus on them. They are a bit of a blur with the sun directly behind them. They really are more just a shadow right now. You think as the sun rises, you will be able to get a better view of them, but for right now, you're basically just blinding yourself by looking directly into the sun with a spyglass. So, I would say, Caravan, you can't go to bed. Zasa, as the sun rises, the desert life kind of goes back to normal. It's pretty empty, but there is, the wind whipping through the desert. You do have, the occasional animal or kind of being that you kind of see far off in the distance. Roll that perception for me again, please. All right, a 15.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. With a 15, you are able to see that now that the sun is no longer behind them, that group of people coming towards you are a band of Ironbred or Sutek. They are, they have the distinctive features. They have the essentially horse heads with the hands of a person, of a standard kind of human-looking hand, and then hooves, as if they were a horse. They're not kitted out for war or anything like that. They do seem to be travelers of some kind, but you're not able to get a huge amount of detail with how far away they are right now. Basically, you're just able to see that's kind of a horse head, and they don't look like they have a massive amount of weaponry on them. But for all you know, they're assassins, they are, hunters, they could be any number of things at this distance. They're still pretty far away from you. The desert is very big. But it is about time for your watch to be done.
Oh, wake up, Kai, and... Kai.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Sorry. It's a little hot.
There's a group over there.
Uh-huh.
If they get closer and angrier, that's a bad sign.
Oh, okay.
If you would like to borrow my spyglass, if all of their tattoos match, that's probably a good sign. If not, then well, they'll probably try and kill us.
Good to know. I will keep an eye out for them. Yeah, I'll let me borrow your spyglass. I'll see what I can see.
All right, so Zasa, you are able to go back to bed. Kai, you are handed the spyglass, which, still has the cracked lens, but still works as a spyglass. You can see a great distance with it. And I'd like you to roll a perception check for me. Nice. With that 20 and with the group growing closer to you, you are able to see some more details about them. Let me get to my details here. So the one in the front has it isn't wearing very much in the way of armor. They seem to be dressed kind of lightly. They actually look like they might be wearing stuff similar to what you have seen Shaho wear. Kind of leathers and furs, but in a way that isn't restrictive. You also see that there is a taller, more imposing looking Ironbred or Sutek that has a glossy black coat. In the heat of the sun, little waves of heat seem to go off of his dark fur that he has. And then there is a slightly slighter looking Ironbred that, or Sutek in this case, that has kind of grayish fur. It's sort of like a grayish purple. There seems to be a bow across his back. And then finally, there is a tawny brown Ironbred or Sutek that is talking a lot. You can't really see much else about her or him, but they're just chatting away. You can see their mouth moving, and they just do not shut up the entire time. However, as you keep looking, you are able to see that they do seem to have matching tattoos. What you're able to see is that all four share a white banded tattoo, similar to the one you may have seen on Nell when you were at Nervous Nellie's. It is on their left bicep, and it shows 4 lines intertwining, which, given the knowledge that Zasa has given you, probably means that they are not out to kill you, but they are getting closer.
Do they seem to be, coming directly at our camp, or...
Not necessarily directly, but they do seem like they're going to cross your path. It's more of like they are heading, they were coming at you from the direction of the sun as it rose, and they're taking sort of a bit of a slanted route, but they are going to cross directly by your camp, it seems. It's not like they're looking, it doesn't look like they're heading directly at you, but they're definitely going to cross your path, and they seem to know you're there. You see that the first Ironbred that you saw did kind of point you out as you were looking with the spyglass. So they know you're there, and they probably saw the glint of the spyglass, even if they can't necessarily see you without it yet.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh. So Marigold actually went to sleep first. I think I'm going to wake up Marigold and just Shaho as well, just to have another person up since she slept through the night.
All right. So as you go to wake up Shaho, she stretches just a little bit and then gets out of the collapsible box that she has. She is bright and perky and ready to face the day. Marigold, how are you feeling?
Things. It's too bright. It's too hot. Parasol.
Here, take some water. It helps.
Ah, thank you. And sip it, my water skin. And so, what have I missed other than a bed?
Well, We have some a group that's been kind of making their way in our direction.
Oh, right.
They seem to know something is here. They kind of pointed in our direction when I was looking at them, so they might have seen the glint off either the spyglass or my armor.
You're quite shiny.
Yes. But it looks like they're going to pass either directly this way or very close this way. So since it's almost time to get up anyway, I figured I'd
Right.
make sure we have some.
Let me just fix my eye makeup. I'm not going out like this. Marigold flips out a little case and just starts doing his eyeliner. It's vividly pink. You always want to be presentable when you have company.
Of course.
Yes, his hair looks like this. He woke up like this.
He is almost always ready. So as you're getting ready, the band is getting closer to you. You do see that they definitely noticed you, and they are headed your way now. They're taking a little bit of a detour out of their original path that would have taken them past you. It looks like they've been traveling for a while. They look weary, but they don't necessarily seem to be in poor spirit. It looks like they are kind of used to the desert heat, as it were. When they do seem to be getting pretty close now, and the one with the tawny brown fur and the light mane that's very short cropped, kind of breaks off from the group and heads towards you all. She has a big smile on her face, and is waving, doing kind of like a "oh hi."
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's been a while since we've seen anybody. It's the desert's really big. How are you doing? I'm sorry if we woke you or scared you or anything.
No, you didn't. Well, you didn't quite wake us. We were awake. Is there something we can help you with?
Oh, yeah.
How's the desert? How is everything? Do you encounter any trouble on the way here?
Oh,
we're headed to the pass, so.
Oh, the pass. Well, I mean,
Right,
we
yes.
passed by it, but you don't go through the pass. I mean, we're out right now. You actually, as you're talking to this, kind of very boisterous Ironbred, you do see the rest of the group kind of come up. There is one who looks kind of shy and is hanging back. They have very vibrant green eyes. And then there is another one, the glossy black-coated one that, was like giving off heat to the sun. He's kind of standing imposingly behind the other two. And then there is the purplish gray one who has the bow. He kind of leans backwards and whispers something into the imposing one's ear. You can't quite hear what it is, but I would like you to roll a perception check, anyone who's listening.
Sure, I'm always listening.
Always listening.
I don't hear shit.
Are you though?
No,
So-
I say that I am, but I'm really not.
You don't really hear anything. You maybe hear something that sounds like it's referring to you, but you can't quite gather what any of it is. It's just kind of muttered sounds, It seems like whoever this Ironbred is, he's used to whispering in people's ears, which is a weird statement, but he's a good whisperer is what I'm saying.
It's not a stage whisper, it's an actual whisper.
Yeah, like it's an actual whisper. He's not, just throwing his voice in a weird way. It's a legitimate way to
He's like
communicate.
a horse person whisperer?
Yes. He's not specifically a horse whisperer, but he is a horse person whisperer. Yes, that's correct.
God.
I mean, you haven't seen how he interacts with a horse yet, so whether he's a horse whisperer is, up in the air. So the really cheery looking Ironbred who you're talking to is like, well, if you're going to the pass, like that's where you're going, right? Like to the pass?
In that direction.
I mean, you better be careful. Like,
Have you heard anything?
it has been windy as hell, let me tell you. Like, wow.
like knock you off the side of the pass, windy, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, it is just windy. It is windy, if you will. Like, it is, wow.
Okay, windy.
It's fucking windy, is what it is. And, you know, she kind of looks back at the others. She's like, you know, we don't go into the pass. You know, that's not our deal. We are desert Ironbred. That is what we are. You know, we travel in the desert. We, you know, that's where we live. But, you know, you go by the pass. And it is a whistling is what it's doing. Like, wow. She says, like, wow a lot, is what you're gathering.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, I mean, if you're going into the pass and you don't have rope, you are not going into the pass.
No, we have rope. We brought rope. We always have rope.
Okay, how much rope do you have, though?
Quite a lot.
I think we each probably have at least the 50 feet that usually comes with.
Yeah. with the
Yeah.
blacks, yeah.
So,
With
okay,
blocks.
and then I think you also have 2 grappling hooks.
We do.
Do you
I
have...
the Explorer's pack, so I have the pitons.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask.
those-
If you have the pitons, the pittons?
I don't know.
I don't know how to say that word. I don't know. I'm a very phonetic reader, so I read everything as it's written exactly. Okay, so, you know, she takes a look. She's like, well, you know, I think you might have enough. But I don't know why you're going into the pass. Like, oh, geez, that's a dangerous place to go. Do you really have to go there? You could just not, you know. You could just not.
You know, it's not to be cagey, but we'll be all right. Is there anything we can do for you? Anything you need?
Yeah.
We just came from Meliad.
Yeah, actually, that's, you know, why I said we should come by you. You know, they didn't want to. Jet,
No,
he's
that's
such a stick in the mud. And you see the black horse, the one with the very glossy coat, kind of, you know, throw his head back in like a
What's your name? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, I'm Cyan. Good to meet you. And she sticks out a hand.
Scion, I will shake her hand.
And then she whips around, very boisterous. Is like, and you know, you see the whispering one? Yeah, that's Murado. And then there's Jet. Oh, this is a stick in the mud. And then you see the quiet one over there? Yeah, that's Beryl. She's such a sweetie, but you know, she's a little bit shy. And
Pleasure to meet you all.
oh, it's so nice to meet you. I have only talked to these, you know. I love them, but wow. You
Being
spent
stuck with the same person for weeks on end, I know, it just gets tiring as hell, but
Exactly. You know, I love them all. I love them dearly. I wouldn't, you know, travel without them.
wouldn't
But
trade them for the world, right?
exactly. I am dying for some conversation that isn't this, you know, I like I said, I love them, but just to talk to somebody else, I was dying here. Oh my god. And you know, you see that the one who keeps whispering, Murado, he is kind of, you know, like he laughs, like as if he kind of knew this was coming, and then he whispers something else into Jet's ear. And then Jet steps forward, you know, kind of placing a hand on Cyan's shoulder. That's really enough. I know you're lonely, but we actually came over here for a purpose.
What can we help you with?
We're looking for some supplies. We've been traveling for a while. We still have, you know, about a day to get to the city. We need to get to Meliad before we can go back. And we're running low on rations and water. Do you have anything you can spare?
Do we have anything we can spare? Actually, I'll turn back to the party. Do we have anything we can spare for them? I know we bought extra.
I know we did purchase extra.
Some extra.
Am I awake? I thought I was still asleep.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you guys wake me up?
Actually,
Kevin.
I just kind of assumed that we would wake up when this
Yeah,
conversation
with all the
happened.
noise and stuff. Yeah.
When
no,
Cyan's been incredibly loud.
We have visitors, Kevin. Come say hello.
slowly wander over, rubbing sleep out of my eyes.
I've got
and
coffee going on the fire because of course I do.
Rifling through my backpack.
Well, let me
Yeah,
see.
I think I'll give over at least one. They have like a day, they said.
Well,
Yeah,
today's
they-
rations and water is nothing from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
We've
they're
got
just
more than
trying to
enough.
get back to where we
No,
came
yeah.
from.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
If you all need a day, 2 days of rations, I think we do have that. We're actually prepared for what was it, 3 weeks?
Yeah, we kind of went overboard. A
A little bit because we are going
Yeah.
into dangerous territory. So
Yeah.
Jet actually smiles, which you think is kind of a rare expression on his face. That would be great. We don't have much to pay you with, but hold on one second. And he goes back and he talks to Beryl, the one who's been in the back, who looks to be dressed kind of like a scout or like a ranger. And Beryl searches through their bag, talking very softly. Does anybody try to listen in on what they're saying?
I mean, yeah.
always
okay.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
You always do. You're nosy.
Okay.
Who's ever trying, roll that perception.
15 is the second one.
Okay, so anybody who got that 15, you are able to hear that Beryl is, kind of talking softly to Jet. We don't have a lot of supplies for going into the mountains, but if that's where we're going, and they're giving us supplies, we should help if we can. And she kind of produces out of her bag a length of rope, and she starts to fashion what looks like a harness, as if she knows how to specifically make a harness out of rope. And she fashions this harness, and then she hands it over to Jet, and she's like, I can give them instructions for this. Give me 10 minutes. I can write something out. They're gonna need this if they're gonna get through the pass. And Jet is like, yeah, okay. And he takes the harness back and hands it over to you. Beryl says that she can give you instructions on how to make something like this. It's not really a physical good, but it is knowledge, and I hope that's enough to pay for the day's rations. It might help you if you really are trying to go to Murmur Pass.
knowledge is always a good currency.
It
Yeah.
is actually, yes. I'm gonna start gathering up a little package of a care package of of stuff for them while the harness training goes on.
All right. As you do that, Beryl, seems to write out a long list. She pulls out a parchment, she pulls out a quill, and writes out a list of instructions on how to build this harness that she did. And then she takes Shaho aside and specifically walks her through the steps, showing her, this is how you do this step, this is what this step means, etc., etc. And so by the end, you have 2 already formed harnesses. You will have to make the rest on your journey, but you have a good start on having a way to travel up this mountain more safely than you would have beforehand. And given the time, that is where we leave it today. It looks like next week we finally get to the mountain, but I'm hoping we have a full party by then. So, does anybody have anything they would like to plug, anything they'd like to say before we say goodbye for the night?
I'm Candy, the DM for the Dicey Amazons Twitch channel. But we are not on tomorrow, but we are on next Sunday, and this will be the first time that we are basically playing this style. We're all in our own homes and not at one table, so we'll see how that goes. Fun times.
Alrighty, anybody else?
I'll go next, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rune. I do many art things on the internet. Tomorrow, from 12:30 to 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can catch me on my Twitch channel at RuneSale, doing 5e stream Tales of Uranta, the Wailing Seas, where I play a wizard. And then Monday, I will be on Goldheart Group's Descent into Avernus from 12:30 to 5:30. So, see you there, I hope.
Very nice. Anybody else?
I have a new anthology out. I think it came out just last week, or
it came out in printed edition last week, and then an ebook a little before that. But the Trinity Anthologies March edition, which is an anthology series with 3 male writers, 3 female, and 3 non-binary writers. So many of the stories are wonderfully queer as hell. My short story for this month is a horror story that takes place in a board game shop.
Oh, that
That's
sounds
fun.
fun.
And I stuck the link into the Zoom chat because I can't stick it into the streams chat.
Oh yeah, let me put that in for you. Give me just a second.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alrighty, and Megan, what about you?
Next time you can see me will actually be here next week, hanging out with all y'all again. After that, I will be on Chromatic Chimera on the 7th for our monthly game of Elsewhere, and then immediately the next day on the 8th for our every other week Steam spell game. So hopefully I'll see you next week. If not, I could see you then.
Very nice. And then finally, with me, tonight my home channel is streaming Age of Ashes, which is Pathfinder 1. And then tomorrow you can see me again playing as an Asathi Drunken Master Monk on Muscard Lands stream that's on our channel. And then on Sunday nights we have the Extinction Curse game, which is Pathfinder 2E. If any of that interests you, just look up Roll the Roll and come check us out. But basically, thank you so much for joining us. We had a really good game, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 Wash your hands.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Please wash your hands and take care of yourself and do all the things. And I'm going to transition. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Be nice to grocery store workers.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and